I like. Oh,
Yeah, no, keep going. I can edit it out.
yeah. Cobweb, the horror movie from last year. I went.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I can't watch spiders. And you
Dude,
know what?
Cobweb was scary.
It was decent. I know people hate that movie.
I loved it. I thought it was
It was
excellent.
good. Yeah, that was really good.
I love and any excuse to see Lizzie Kaplan is a plus. I love
Yeah.
Lizzie Kaplan. And Anthony Starr was terrifying.
Yeah, he was really good.
Well, to get into it, welcome everybody to our to the Average Film Enjoyer today. We did an episode yesterday, our Dune 2 review. So go check that out if you have not already. It's on our YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen or watch our pod. It's there. And we just talk about Dune 2 for an hour. It's awesome.
It's a good time.
But yeah, welcome to the Average Film Enjoyer. We are your average film enjoyers, Trey and Evan. Today, we are back to our IMDB series. We're checking off a couple. We're checking off the Coen Brothers classic, like literally like the cult classic, Big Lebowski, and Tokyo Story. We will also be discussing the latest movie news and some of the good and bad stuff we've both been watching recently. But we're excited to get into it. But before we get into anything, Evan, my friend, how's your week been? How are you doing? How's your weekend?
It's good. Weekend was awesome. I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, so I was just like rotting at home. It snowed so much, like 20 centimeters of snow.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend stayed in. We just hung out. It was a good time. Watched some movies. We've been binging House.
Oh, it's
which is
spacey?
No, that's House of Cards. House with Hugh Laurie, the Doctor show.
Oh, is it good?
Dude, I've seen it like 3 times. I love it. It's such a good background show, and House is so charismatic and such an asshole. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I love Hugh Laurie.
They just put it on Netflix. I used to watch it on like Prime or something. I don't know, but I hate Prime.
Oh, and you know what's on Netflix now that you can watch my all-time favorite TV show? The first 4 seasons of the greatest comedy ever put to television, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, I've seen. They just put that on, dude. They've had
It's been on Peacock. All 7 seasons are on Peacock.
All the seasons are on Netflix here. I love that show.
Oh yeah, that's my all-time favorite. And Andy Samberg, in my mind, can do no wrong.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen the last season because I got caught up to it.
It's definitely the weakest of the season. It's still good, It's still Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Charles Boyle is still a treasure. But it definitely doesn't hold a candle to the first. And that's even a show where there's not a single season that's bad.
Yeah.
It's just so damn good. It's so bingeable. It's so enjoyable. I love it.
That was the thing. I got caught up to it as like a live show, and then I just didn't want to watch it week to week, and I didn't go back. But so I've been binging that. It's a crisp minus 26 degrees outside.
Jeez.
Very, very cold the last couple days. So
yeah,
I've got.
I know, and I got that TikTok you sent me.
Yeah, bro, dude. That's why I say, it's like 5 degrees outside, and I'm like, oh my god, praise the Lord. So yeah, I'm chilling. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, been grinding out Oscar movies for our Oscars episode, which I'll touch on those when we get to what we've been watching. I think I've watched 6 so far in the past few days. Been grinding Assassin's Creed.
Dude, speaking of Assassin's Creed,
and
you getting lost in open worlds, I know I was telling you a little bit about it.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, when you get a PlayStation 5, or if it comes to Xbox,
or PC. I'm gonna get a PC before I get a PlayStation 5.
You're gonna freaking love this game. I am 3 chapters into this game. I am 20 hours in. I have done so many fucking side quests. So many side quests and just roaming, bro. I want to experience the story. I get so sidetracked in this game. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's how I am with. There's just so much to do in open world games. I love it.
It's awesome.
Assassin's Creed has become really fun. And I finally found I have so many games on my Xbox. That I have like the physical copy, but I didn't know where all my physical copies went. So I couldn't play any of them because I had the disc. But I finally found all of my physical copies, so I hopped back on to MLB The Show, which I love.
Yeah, so
Lego. I've been playing some Lego Marvel, Superheroes 2. It's underrated. I think it's underrated. The first Lego Marvel, let's be honest, that's the best Lego video game, easily. Or the complete saga, Star Wars.
yes, I was about to say.
Yeah. Did you ever play the Skywalker Saga Star Wars game?
Yeah, so my brother actually bought it for me for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
He had the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy on GameCube. And
Yeah,
we played those
dude, me
so much
too.
as a kid, and so he bought it for me. And the Christmas Eve night, we stayed up all night reliving our childhood playing that. Oh, what a blast!
Yeah, dude, Skywalker Saga was actually like super fun.
It's awesome.
I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it. And I might have to dabble back into that a little bit. But yeah, I've just been playing video games, watching films. Nothing too big this weekend. Went and saw Dune 2. Which we talked to. We're gonna do no conversation on Dune 2 today. If you want to hear, because we could talk about that honestly for hours. So if you want to hear a conversation on it, go check out our episode from yesterday. You can hear our thoughts. Me and Evan both think it's debatably the greatest sci-fi science fiction movie of all time.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, dude. My dad went to go see it last night, and he calls me. He texted me at 6 a.m. this morning and said, "Dune 2 is a masterpiece. I'll call you later." And I was like, hell yeah, dude. So he calls me, and he was glazing hard, dude. It made
Hell
me
yeah.
so happy. I was like, that's awesome. Because I think he likes the original Dune. You know, he loves sci-fi. Like,
Yeah.
his two favorite things in life are James Bond and Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, he doesn't live, like, near me, so he's coming in April. And he's like, when I get to Calgary in April, the first thing we're doing is going to see Dune together. And I was like, dude, I can't wait. I'm so happy
Yeah.
he loved it.
And Ben, in the Real Talk Discord says he can't wait to give it a 4.5. What I can't wait for is for him to go see it and be like, yeah, that's pretty amazing.
I saw this tweet. Okay, we're gonna get carried away. I saw this tweet from this guy, and it said, Dune 2 has to be the most overhyped movie of all time. And then he quote tweeted it 3 hours later and said, okay, I get it, never mind.
Dude, I saw that. That was hilarious. And the only one that's in contention for me for best sci-fi film is 2001: A Space Odyssey. But even like thinking about it, I'm like, I think I prefer Dune 2.
Yeah, it's hard because they're so different. And
Yeah.
that's why in my Letterboxd review, I was like, this is the greatest contemporary modern sci-fi movie of all time. Just because, like, 2001, for its time, was so monumental, and it's, like, hard to really compare the two. Cause completely
like, and for me, like, I've seen people compare it to Interstellar. Comparing Dune 2 to Interstellar, I feel like is comparing like The Godfather to like a student film.
Dude, I saw people comparing Dune 2 to Avatar 2, and I was like,
that's insane. That is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love Avatar, but that's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been doing good. Just staying out of trouble. I've eaten Carl's Jr. 3 times in the last week and a half, so that's a massive W.
Big W.
I can definitely feel it in my gut, though. So that's not great. But
whatever.
It's Carl's, dude. It's so yummy. I just got bubble throat for a second. Should we get into movie news?
Absolutely.
There's been a few things that...
The first thing I wanted to touch on, because I don't know if you've seen any of his movies, but Wong Kar-wai is working on his first film in over 10 years.
Oh, that's a W.
So he's doing a TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's working on and I didn't know, have you seen any of his movies?
No, I haven't yet, but I know I will enjoy them, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the 3 main ones, Chungking Express, In the Mood for Love, and Fallen Angels. I mean,
yeah.
If we ever do a Chungking Express episode, we'll call Jagger up, because he's like the glaze master of that movie.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up, Isabella Merced, Madam Web. She was quoted saying that the reason Madam Web was not critically acclaimed and was not received well was because of toxic masculinity.
Oh,
Now, I can admit, I can admit that that has been a problem in the past. But specifically Captain Marvel.
yes.
I think Captain Marvel is a great movie. I have a blast with it. I have it at a 3.5. I don't know about you, Evan.
I get 2.5 for me, but I don't. You know,
But
me,
it's still, it's not.
like-
I know your opinion on super. You don't like superhero movies, but it's still not even close to the worst MCU film. Not even close. It's like middle of the road,
yeah.
or it might be a little bit higher for me.
I don't even watch the
but-
I still haven't seen Love and Thunder or Quantumania. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Black Panther or Wakanda Forever yet. Either.
That was actually pretty good. But it was it was received so poorly because of all this toxic masculinity. It was one of the first female-led superhero films, like, ever. At least since the 70s when they were doing Wonder Woman and stuff.
I mean,
and
the
she
Marvels
points
just
out,
came out.
she points
haven't
out
seen the
like,
Marvels.
and Isabella Merced, it like points out like that's why movies like the Marvels and stuff like the She-Hulk has not been received well because of toxic masculinity. First of all, the Marvels was received well. People liked the Marvels. There's a lot of people who had that at like, I was seeing like all over TikTok. People are like, that was actually really great. Like, your average moviegoer enjoyed the Marvels. She-Hulk wasn't received well because She-Hulk was terrible. That's why.
The first episode of She-Hulk a lot. I find it so frequently that the the pilots for these Disney superhero shows are kind of gas. The first episode of Miss Marvel is a heater. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's so
dude.
good.
But then
And
they just fall off.
It just goes into the, it's stereotypical and it's boring and it's generic.
Yeah, exactly. But Isabella Merced, you want to know why your movie wasn't received very well? Because it's terrible.
Yeah.
I've tried watching it multiple times. I can't. I get 10 minutes in and I'm like, no, this isn't worth my time. I've watched some terrible movies. I've sat
the entire Children of the Corn.
I took an entire day and watched the last 4 Children of the Corn movies, all half stars, and I couldn't get through 10 minutes of yours. So, it's not, just admit your movie is bad. It's a trash movie.
Even Dakota Johnson came out and she was like, yeah, it's a shit movie. And
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney was talking shit about it on SNL too.
Yeah,
She's like, you might know me from Euphoria, or you might know me from Anybody But You, but you definitely don't know me from Madam Web. Like,
yeah.
it's just a bad
So,
movie.
it's not toxic masculinity that's ruining your movie. It's your movie that's ruining your movie.
When people are saying Morbius is better, that's how you know it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
When Soups is saying your movie is shit, that's when you know it's shit.
Yeah, the biggest glazer of
Yeah.
all time. Yeah, that was just really silly to me.
Yeah. On a lighter note, something I am extremely excited about. Filming has begun on Final Destination 6.
Yes, give it to
This
me.
film will release in 2025 with an IMAX theatrical release to celebrate the franchise's 25th anniversary. Dude, give it to me. I love these movies. I even love Final Destination 4, which is a terrible movie. I love it. So that is super hype. Yeah, very, very excited about that.
Yeah.
Especially because 5 is like a legit banger. 5 is sick.
Madam Web loses weekend to Dune Part 1 re-release. Like, you can't even beat a movie at the box office that was released like 5 years ago.
That's crazy. Dude, Lindsay Lohan has confirmed Freaky Friday 2 will be coming out.
Yes, I am all in.
What
Freaky
a W.
Friday. Freaky Friday is one of those that we've talked about a few, like Big Fat Liar, Zathura, RV. It's one of those movies like people our age watched as a kid. It's peak. Jamie Lee Curtis is so good in that movie. I'm not allowed. We quote that all the time in my family. I'm not allowed.
That's awesome.
So that's a massive W. That is a massive W.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Kung Fu Panda 4, and we got this because of a release, or like a TikTok video released. Jack Black will be covering Baby One More Time by Britney Spears and Kung Fu Panda 4.
That's it.
Massive W. God, dude. Jack Black can really do it all.
Dude, I was driving because I have a movie theater really close to me, and it's kind of like near like a sorry, like a mall type area.
Yeah.
And I was driving to the bookstore to
Mm-hmm.
buy Dune Messiah, and I see Kung Fu Panda 4 March like 8th or something. Like it's coming out this week, and I was like, "Oh my god, like
Are
where's
you
the-"
serious? It actually is?
It's coming out this Friday, and I was like, where is the press bin for this? Like I thought this was coming out like April or like June. I had no idea it was coming this soon, so that's kind of crazy. I mean, it's gonna get nuked at the box office because Dune is just going crazy, but
Yeah, 1,000%.
hopefully it's good. The first one.
By the way, I forgot to mention to you, I decided to just put my Harry Potter read through on pause and just
Ooh.
bust out the Dune books, all 6. I'm about 50 pages in to the first one, just Dune.
Dude, it's
I'm
so good.
I
It's
tried
so
it.
good.
I tried it like a few years ago before even seeing the movies. And it was just like too dense. There was too much going on that I didn't understand, and I kind of gave up. But I think now, having familiarity with the characters, it makes it a lot easier. And I
sure.
can. So I'm very much enjoying it so far.
The first time I read it, I was well, the only time, but like when I was first reading it, I was like, okay, yeah, like because I had seen the movie, I was like, this is cool. Or no, I hadn't seen the movie yet. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But I was like, shit, this is cool. And then it gets to the first like scene with the Baron, and there's
Yeah,
so
like
much
20
depth.
pages in.
There's so much depth in that scene, and the relationships are so like immediately like prevalent. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. Yeah, so I'm super excited to start Messiah. Once I finish busting through these Oscar movies, I'm gonna start it. I think.
Yeah. So Billie Eilish came out and said that a dream about Christian Bale made her realize she had to break up with one of her boyfriends. Crazy.
That's kind of a W though. I love Christian Bale.
Dude, Christian Bale is just full of W's.
That's crazy.
Let's see. I mean,
Let's talk about how Dune 2 opened with $178.5 million, over 50% more than the worldwide opening for the first film. It made the amount of money that Oppenheimer made in its first weekend, and that's without Barbie backing Barbenheimer for even more press. That's crazy. Like, I want Dune 2. I want to see Dune 2 hits $1 billion. That's such a W. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. We love it.
Cinema, bro. Have you played the Fallout games?
No.
Oh, really? I know you're big.
Wait,
because the Fallout TV show got a new poster. And
oh, the Fallout games. No, I haven't played them.
Yeah. They're not for me. I have a hard time with Bethesda RPGs sometimes.
Yeah.
I like Skyrim, but other than that, I have a hard time with them.
Yeah.
Jonathan Nolan, famously written many of Christopher Nolan's movies with him, also created Westworld, which the first season of that show is peak.
Yeah.
And they've pretty much said this is like Fallout 5. Like, it's not a returning characters. It's a completely new Fallout story. That's a W, because Fallout's world is awesome. It's awesome. It's weird because all the games have this like 70s, 80s aesthetic and soundtrack, and it's super fun to just live in that world.
Yeah.
And everyone is very charismatic and goofy. I just have a hard time because the games are long, and I get like I have a hard time locking into RPGs sometimes. So
yeah, no, I definitely. If you don't buy into like the main story, then you're not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, so I am very excited for this. Jonathan Nolan has proved that he can cook. So That's coming out April 12th on Prime, so that's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Do you have any more? Because I only have two more things that I want to talk about, and then I'm good.
I just have one more if you want to go.
Okay. I saw the TV Glow. I don't think we've talked about this
Dude,
yet. The
I
new
cannot
Justice
wait to see
Smith
this
horror
movie.
film. This looks insane.
Yeah.
This looks like on the level like we're all going to the World's Fair type
I
horror.
Yeah, so I've seen We're All Going to the World's Fair. I really liked it. I haven't even seen the trailer for this yet.
Yeah.
I saw the reviews coming out of Sundance, right?
I think so, yes.
And everyone was saying this movie is gas, absolute gas.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't
I'm
need to
quite
hear
excited.
anymore. We're all going to the World's Fair. It's super unique, really weird, really
Oh,
cool.
I think I gave that either a 4.5 or a 5. I loved it.
Nice, yeah.
I thought it was excellent.
That's sick. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. You want to give your last one?
Yeah. So we have literally like 2 days after this shit happens with the Willy Wonka AI experience.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay, so there was this marketing thing in the UK, and it was like, oh, we have a Willy Wonka like Wonderland experience going on. It was like an empty hall with nothing in it, and they were like AI pictures on the website. Absolute bomb in person. 2 days after it, a horror movie about the Willy Wonka experience titled "The Unknown" is in the works. Dude, that's crazy. Literally 2 days after it happened.
Dude, the directors of that saw it and were like, okay, we need to get on this right now, right now.
That's insane.
That's unbelievable. I love that. That is hilarious.
So funny.
So yeah, now we're gonna get into our reviews. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of technical difficulties.
Give us Tokyo Story, Evan.
Okay.
Thoughts on it?
Here's some synopsis really quick. Tokyo Story 1953, director Yasujiro Ozu, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. The elderly Shukishi and his wife Tomi take their long journey from their small seaside village to visit their adult children in Tokyo. Their elder son, Koichi, a doctor, and their daughter, Shige, a hairdresser, don't have much time to spend with their aged parents, and so it falls to Noriko, the widow of their younger son who was killed in the war, to keep their in-laws company. It's an interesting film. Like, it's very mundane, and it has a really interesting family dynamic that I think not a lot of films demonstrate. I'll keep it pretty spoiler free. Not like there's a lot to spoil. It's a long film. The pacing's great. This is 2 hours and 20 minutes. I watch this on the Criterion channel. Visually, it's great. The cast does a great job. It's really, really interesting. I wrote a lot about this film, and I kind of went into it with an open mind because two of my mutuals, Oscar and Alex from the Shot by Shot podcast, both had very conflicting reviews. Alex has this at a 5 and wrote like an essay about it. Said it's one of his like most important films to him, and Oscar has this at a 3. Said it's kind of mid. And yeah, it's an interesting film. The family dynamic is so unique because the grandparents, or like the parents, because there are grandkids, are so on the outside wholesome and kind and really, really just excited to see their kids.
Yeah.
And the kids are naturally like in the opening like meetings, they're really, really excited and happy, and the parents visit the son first, and he gets called away to go visit a patient, and they're like, oh, no worries, it's all okay, like we can hang out here.
Yeah.
And the daughter-in-law Noriko is there for a quick visit, and she's like, oh, I'll hang around, and then they go see the daughter, and she's a hairdresser, and she kind of just shoos her parents away to go for a spa day, and the parents are like, oh, this is nice, and they come back, but like they just want to see their kids, and it's really, really interesting to see this kind of sorrow in them where they're old. Like, They
Yeah.
kind of say there's this one scene they're staring when they're visiting the son in the first act,
Mm-hmm.
and they're hanging out with the grandson, and the grandma says to her grandson, she's like, what do you want to be when you're older? And he's like, a doctor. And she goes, wow, just like your dad, by the time you're that old and you're a doctor, I wonder if I'll still be here. And this film is really introspective on like aging, and you know, it's unique in its perspective on death, because the way she says it isn't like, I'm depressed, I'm gonna die. Like, this grandma, I swear she has a smile on her face the entire movie.
Yeah.
Um yeah, but the most interesting character is Noriko, whose husband has died in the war, and she's never really moved on from it. She never
Mm-hmm.
remarried, and she her only real ties to family are with these people. Yet, the other siblings are just like, leave us alone. Like, we've got better stuff to do. Like, we'll treat you to a nice day, but like, we don't really care to hang out. And I wrote down, I wrote a bunch of thoughts that are not super connected, but I'm just gonna kind of read them out.
Yeah.
So Noriko says in one scene that she'll never get old. It's really heartbreaking. Like, she says, I'll never get old, and they have this long talk, Noriko and the grandmother, about mortality, and she's like, I'm never gonna remarry. I'll just die young.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a casual scene. Like, I don't know if it's a cultural thing that they talk like this, but because I mean, it's an old movie, and it's a culture I'm not super familiar with, even though I've seen like a bunch.
Yeah.
And then grandma leaves and she just sobs in her bed. Like, it's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I said emotions are so suppressed in this film. It's really interesting how like 90% of the lines in this movie are said with a smile. And something that's interesting to me is that the grandfather clearly has struggled with alcoholism in his life,
Yeah.
and he goes to hang out with some boys at the bar, and it's like, you're not drinking again, are you? And it's like, oh, I wouldn't touch the sake. And it's like, again, it's a super casual conversation. The emotion, every bit of emotion in this movie is so suppressed when they're together, and then it's like those solitude moments, it's really heavy.
Yeah.
um sorry, I'm just scrolling through my.
No,
Yeah,
you're good.
I said these grandparents fear any ounce of inconvenience, even though, uh you know what, spoilers, it's not a big spoil, like, I mean, it's, are you okay with spoilers?
Yeah.
So the grandma gets sick, and at one point, and she's very old, so it's like, it's understood. And like I said, like, they kind of realize this is their last voyage to go see their um grandkids, and she's just so happy to be with Noriko, because Noriko is really hanging on to this bit of family she still has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very deep and layered movie. Um, the the grandpa says at one scene, "I like my kids better better more and more," and he's surprised how much they've changed to not be like their parents. And it's
Yeah.
kind of this like introspective line how he's like, I hate myself, and I'm like happy the kids are different. Yeah. I could go on. It's a very beautiful, heartbreaking, introspective film, and it's a very unique family dynamic. I'm really excited for you to watch it.
Yeah.
Alex quoted this one line in his review, because he wrote a really good review about it. I want to pull it up really quick, and I didn't take it down
Mm-hmm.
when I was watching it, but he says, you can't show gratitude to a grave.
Yeah.
It's a really great film, and it's got so much emotion behind it, even though it's such a mundane movie. I loved it. It's 5 stars for me. I'll probably rewatch it, honestly. It's
Mm-hmm.
great. The world he crafted is authentic, and yeah, I loved it. and to like the usual questions, this 100% belongs on the IMDb Top 250.
Yeah.
I wanted to read some stats really quick before
Yeah,
we
go
move
ahead.
on, because I was reading the trivia about it, and it's crazy. It's in like every single list of like best movies ever, and it's high on them. So I'm surprised it's this low. Um, One of the things that's interesting is that the director always shot. He liked to shoot from like the waist level and like the
Mm-hmm.
leg level, so they had to build ceilings for every set instead of just shooting from up top and not building those.
Yeah.
Um, Voted the greatest movie of all time in the Sight and Sound, which is like a very big list, 2012 directors poll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ranked number 3 non-English speaking films in a poll conducted by the BBC in 2018. Voted number 7 in Total's Films 100 Greatest Movies of All Time. It's in Roger Ebert's Greatest Movies list. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Voted the third greatest film of all time instead of Sight and Sound's 2012 poll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's on the 1001 movies before you must see before you die list, and it's high on the the Letterbox Top 250. It's number 38.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised it's this low, and I am happy that it's on this list because I'd never heard of it before, and I'm really happy I watched it. Yeah, go watch it. It's peak. I don't know how Oscar gave it a 3 star. I loved it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's our review of Tokyo Story. Next one, the Coen Brothers, Big Lebowski. So this film was released in 1998. 4.1 on Letterboxd. With 25,000 fans. That's 25,000 people who have this in their top 4.
That's crazy.
And it has an IMDb rating of 8.1. We're still in the 8.1s. And it stars Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Really stacked cast here. John Turturro is in like 2 scenes, and he completely steals the show in those 2 scenes. As
He steals this so hard he gets his
Jesus.
own movie about him.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like when you, at least for me, when you think about cult classics, Big Lebowski is one of the first ones to come to your head.
Yeah.
This has such a
from word of
massive following, and I saw someone talk about it in a review. This is not a comedy movie. This is a character movie. So a lot of people go to comedies for like the gags and the funny stuff that happens, and that doesn't happen that much in this movie. You're really laughing at these ridiculous characters. I mean, obviously you have Jeff Bridges as the dude, which is basically Jeff Bridges at his most Jeff Bridges. The dude abides, man. And you have John Goodman, you have Steve Buscemi, and it's just, this movie is it's a great hangout movie. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. It really is just such a blast. There's so many quotable lines in this movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman, killer performance. One of the best parts of the film. I don't really know. I didn't take a lot of... This is not a movie you take notes with. This is a movie you just vibe with. You know? It's a blast. That's all. And I think I'm going to end it there. Just go watch it. It's a blast.
Yeah, even on my... I started watching this today, but I realized I didn't have enough time to finish it, so I was like, I'm just going to wait till I can watch it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
Even though I remember not liking this movie, I was laughing a lot in the first 20
It's so
minutes.
funny.
They're just dogging on Steve Buscemi so hard, dude. Oh,
shut up, Donnie. You're not part of it.
I remember Jeff Bridges just killing it.
They pissed on his fucking rug. It really tied the room together.
Yeah.
Man, does it look like anybody? Does it look like I'm married? The toilet seat is up, man. Yeah, it's so excellent, and that I think I'm gonna leave it there. I think I'm just gonna be like, it's excellent. It's a blast. Go watch it, please. It is so fun.
We got very polar opposites this week, eh?
Yeah, yeah, big time. Streaming on Peacock, I do believe it belongs in the IMDb top 250. I think it belongs higher. We'll see if Evan agrees with me.
This isn't their first movie, eh?
No,
They did Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, I think, before it.
no, they did.
Oh.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou was 2000.
Oh, shit.
Their first one was Raising Arizona, I believe.
With Nick Cage.
Oh wait, no, their first one was Blood Simple, and then Raising Arizona. Raising Arizona is peak though.
This is a blind spot for me. I need to go more into it.
Yeah, dude, and they don't, except for Hail Caesar, they don't miss. Here are their top 5: No Country for Old Men, Fargo, Big Lebowski, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Burn After Reading. That's insane.
When we inevitably do a Coen Brother episode, or rundown, I know we will. I cannot frickin' wait to talk about the tragedy of Macbeth. I adore that movie.
Yeah, that's one I haven't gotten around to yet.
One of the most insane movies. I love Macbeth. It was always my favorite in high school, university. Like, I've read it a few times. It's so peak. Oh my god, I love it. And dude, Denzel, like, visually, it's insane. It is one of the most beautiful black and white movies I've ever seen. And for me, my favorite is Inside Llewyn Davis. It's in my top 5 movies of all time.
Oh, I love it. It's 5 stars. Easy.
As a person who loves Bob Dylan and folk music, like, this movie is made for me. We were talking about it in the Real Talk Discord today, because George had brought up how Denis and Nolan are making movies meant for him, and then Remy was talking about, I can't remember what movie it was, but it was something that's made for him. Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, Inside Llewyn Davis is made for me.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, what movie is made for you? Inside. Oh man, what movie?
Inside
is,
Llewyn Davis is my pick for sure, easily.
Probably Tron Legacy. Honestly,
that's a W.
I've logged it 9 times. If there's any movie that's made for me, it's Tron Legacy or Hereditary.
W.
But that concludes our reviews for the day. Friday or tomorrow, we're going to be working through the entire Oscars ballot with my brother-in-law AJ. It's going to be a blast. Get your predictions here. We'll see. We'll check in next week to see how many we got correct. We'll go over the winners.
Might see another bonus episode, because who knows if we want to squeeze in the entire Oscars ballot with an IMDb episode.
Yeah, that'd be a pain. We will get another bonus episode next week of us going over the Oscar winners. And then Friday, we're finishing up our Nolan watch through with Oppenheimer and Dunkirk. Very excited for an excuse to rewatch Oppenheimer.
Dude, oh my god!
I haven't rewatched it since the theaters.
That's gonna be, oh really? That's gonna be my 6th watch of Oppenheimer.
It'll be my 4th.
Nice.
Easily Nolan's best movie.
It's the only 4K I own.
Oh, I own on 4K. I own Escape from New York, The Big Lebowski.
Oh, dude, Escape from New York in 4K.
The Batman I have on 4K, Social Network, nice. Army of Darkness, They Live, Paranorman I have on 4K.
That's kind of sick.
And then my 2 Criterions I have, Parasite and Dazed and Confused, I have on 4K as well. And Reservoir Dogs, and Pulp Fiction. I have a lot. I like I don't buy Blu-rays, like, for the 4K. I buy it if it has a cool cover. So if the 4K has a cooler cover, that's the one I buy. But if the Blu-ray has a cooler cover, I buy that one.
I didn't have a 4K TV for a long time, and then I moved in with my girlfriend, and she has a 4K TV, so I was like, it's time.
Yeah. Uh,
Do
yeah,
some
and then
watching.
Tuesday we're reviewing Seventh Seal
Yes, we
and
are.
Room.
Good talk,
Um,
Bergman.
ugh.
Hell yeah! Even though it's not a Bergman I love.
Yeah, so that'll be a good time. And next Friday, we don't even know what we're doing yet because we don't have our director yet. So we will announce that on Friday. So get your votes in. It's linked down below. Vote for who you want to see. I may have edited out the first time I say that because then Evan started having some technical difficulties. So this may be the first time I'm saying this, but it's actually the second. Yeah. Evan, my boy, what have you been watching recently?
Okay, I'm trying to remember what we're going back to.
Let me pull up my diary.
So I think my most recent is Hellraiser. Did we talk about Hellraiser on our last episode?
No, we didn't. Yeah, Hellraiser,
Okay,
because
so I
we
talked
watched
about
that after recording. We watched it with
right.
Ryan.
So I talked about Petite Maman. I watched Poor Thing. Yeah. Okay. So Hellraiser. This is in my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. It's my second time seeing it. Clive Barker is just him when it comes to body horror, and like he's right there with John Carpenter for me. This movie is weird as shit. It's horny. It's gross. It's
God, that shot where he shows up in the doorway and it's raining and he's like, "Hey."
yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ, are we watching a porno?
Dude,
What is
just wait till we
happening?
watch the second one. The second one is so gas. Um, I watched this for the first time earlier this last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it immediately was a classic for me. I was like, I need to seek out Clive Barker. I watched all the Hellraiser movies. I watched Candyman. It was like I just need more of his vision because he just cooks. Pinhead and the boys are sick as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Um,
You need to get on Nightbreed, dude. Nightbreed is peak.
Noted. Yeah, I adore Hellraiser. It's a 5-star for me. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And yeah, this was me, Ryan, and Trey. We were gonna watch Exorcist 3, but we couldn't get it to work.
Yeah.
So we were like, screw it, let's just watch Hellraiser. And me and Ryan both adore Hellraiser. And
Yeah.
this was Trey's first watch, so and I know you liked it. I'm excited to hear a bit
I
more of your
enjoyed
thoughts
it.
because you're just like that was cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really have many thoughts. I thought it was cool. I was glad to get another like classic horror checked off.
We gotta watch Candyman.
Yeah, I know. And then we'll follow it up with Candy Peak. But yeah, I was glad to get another classic horror cut off or checked off. Yeah, it was good. 4 stars. How many do you have? Should I do 2 or should I do 1?
I have 2, 4, 5 left.
Okay, I'll do 2.
Oh no, I have 6. I have 6 left.
Okay, I'll do 2 and then you do 1. Because
Okay.
I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah,
9, 10, 11.
The House rewatch has really killed my film viewing. I'm only
Dude,
watching
it's all
movies when
good.
I'm alone.
I would have been higher, but I've been watching a lot of 30 Rock. Because I love Tracy Morgan, the king himself.
Dude, my brother,
I'm
I
Brian
gotta tell you. So my brother and my parents went to go see Tracy Morgan, like pretty shortly after his accident.
Oh, I've heard he's like not the same.
Yeah, but they told me this joke he told because he got ran over by a Walmart truck, right?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't 18, so I couldn't go because it was in an 18 plus bar. And he goes, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but he's like, as many of you may know, I might have been run over by a Walmart truck, and you might think, Tracy, that's probably stopping me from shopping there. But goddamn, you can't beat those prices.
Dude, he's so funny. His
amazing.
stint on SNL was just so good.
Legendary.
But yeah, I watched Hellraiser and then I followed it up with Itsy Bitsy. Terrible horror movie. Absolutely awful. Don't watch it. 1 star. All right, give us your next one, Evan.
Yeah, next I watched, on the topic of childhood peak that continues to be peak, I rewatched National Treasure. Oh my god,
Peak!
it's
Peak!
so good, dude. It's so freaking good. Like, this movie is not only very, very entertaining. I adore these mystery adventures. Like, uh, sh- the Da Vinci Code,
Mm-hmm.
up there. Like, if I want fun, I'll watch National Treasure. If I want intense mystery, I'll watch the Da Vinci Code. Because they're
Yeah.
like, the Da Vinci Code's way more serious. But I adore this type of movie. Nicolas Cage is the GOAT in this movie. And then Diane Kruger's awesome. You got Sean Bean, a menace and always. John Voight, Harvey Keitel, Christopher Plummer, like
Yeah.
stacked cast, an absolute blast. The pacing is great. It's
Yeah.
just such a fun movie. I love
And
it
I
so
love
much.
that Nick Cage can like acknowledge how much of a meme it is when he says, "I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence."
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous and so fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to rewatch the second one because it's also peak. And
Yes.
I love how John Voight is like so skeptical to all this, and then they bring the Declaration over, and he's like,
Oh no, Evan, it's happening again, everybody. Evan, you're frozen. Oh God, Evan. Well, everybody, to give you my next film, I rewatched Dune with my mother because she really wanted to see Dune 2. So we watched Dune on our new 65-inch TV. It was excellent. She loved it as well, which I'm very glad she did. I mean, 5 stars. That movie is excellent. It's a nice, slow burn political thriller. You get great performances, absolutely stacked cast. I'm going to keep drawing this on so I can figure out what happened. Oh, and he left. And he's back.
yeah, my whole Google Chrome just crashed. I don't know. My laptop's tweaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dune
Yeah,
one
so I
peak.
watched
Heard
Dune.
that. Dune one
Yeah.
is peak.
So, Evan, give us your next film.
Yeah, my next one. I watched Dunkirk. I'll keep it super brief.
Oh,
Because,
wait. I forgot I have to do 2.
yeah,
Dune,
Dune 2.
and then Bodies.
Oh my god.
Bodies, peak. That's what I say.
This
Lee Pace,
movie is so much fun.
my future wife, Rachel Sennott,
Oh my god.
Pete Davidson, a delight as always. Yeah, excellent. Go check it out if you haven't watched
Dude,
it.
the scene, I won't spoil anything from the end, but there's the scene near the end where Rachel Sennott goes, "Your parents are middle class," and it's taken like she just said the most rude shit ever. Oh my god, it's so funny. All the jokes in this movie land. The sequence in the gym. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Bodies.
This is like if Horde Mentality was a movie.
Oh, it's so peak. I love it, and it
Yeah.
has an amazing ending. I love the ending.
Yeah. All right, give us your next one.
Yeah, my next one was Dunkirk. We're gonna talk about it on Friday, so I'll keep it brief here. I love it. It's peak. Visually insane. The performances are great. Nolan manages to make you care about so many characters in a short runtime for a Nolan movie. It's like hour 40. Like I think when the credits hit, it was an hour and 39 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a very unique war movie. And we'll get into it more because there's no big battle scenes or anything. Yeah, it's peak. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 stars.
So, what are my next two? I think my next one is. Oh, I watched Maestro in preparation for our Oscars episode. I think technically this was a really sound film. It was a beautiful looking film. Choosing Leonard Bernstein's music as the score, I think, was a great choice. It's so hard and this is the reason. That's what she said. This is the reason why I don't like biopics, because people's lives are so complex and filled with so many layers and so much stuff happens that biopics always end up just like completely ignoring stuff or glazing over stuff. And I feel like they did that a lot more here than they usually do. I feel like Bradley Cooper did that a lot, which I think really brought it down for me. Also, have you seen like the press junkets that have been going on with Bradley Cooper? What the hell is wrong with him?
Around me all the time, and
dude, what a weirdo!
I love Bradley Cooper, but it's weird. Yeah, I have a lot of. We'll talk about Maestro more tomorrow.
Yeah,
I genuinely hate the first act of this movie because it's like a speed run through Leonard Bernstein's life to get to when he meets Carey Mulligan, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah, and then I followed that up
Bradley
with
Cooper.
Rustin. Pretty run-of-the-mill, formulaic biopic. An important one, because before this, I didn't know who Bayard Rustin was. And now I do. He basically orchestrated the March on Washington. Oh, yeah, you're not American. Like MLK's... I Have a Dream speech. Yeah. That's the March on Washington with over like 200,000 people.
Right.
In 1963, he orchestrated it. That was him. Cool. Bayard Rustin.
I'm gonna watch it today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Pretty formulaic, run of the mill. I always forget that you're not American, so you just don't learn it. You don't just like learn these things in school.
I watched Selma. I know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty run of the mill. Although Coleman Domingo, who plays Bayard Rustin, 1000% deserves his Best Actor nominee. He was outstanding in this film. And Jeffrey Wright has like one scene, and he is terrifying. He is so good. He is so good in this movie. So those are really the big things, but 3 stars. It was all right. All right, give us your next one.
Did you do 2 there?
I did.
Oh, yeah, you did my... Yeah. So me and my girlfriend were trying to find a movie, and she was like, let me throw on a rom-com. We watched Sydney White starring Amanda Bynes. I was like, this movie's gonna suck dick. Oh my god, what an enjoyable movie. I kind of loved it. It's funny, and it's heartwarming, and it's just like an easy watch. It's really good. I liked it a lot, yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a W.
I gave it 3.5, and yeah. I was shocked. I legit expected a 1 star. What are your next 2?
Next 2, I watched 2023's Thanksgiving. Finally,
I'm sorry, I have a pee bladder, so I'm gonna run pee while you talk about it, and then I'll come back and talk about it. I'll be right back.
Okay. Thanksgiving, what a blast! Eli Roth truly cooked with this one. This is, I think, his best film that I've seen from him so far. You have some absolutely gnarly kills, a few moments that made me gag, but as a fan of, like, gory, campy horror movies, I was laughing. I was having a blast. This movie is an absolute blast. Addison Rae actually wasn't terrible in this. Patrick Dempsey was great. Rick Hoffman from Suits fame was great as well. Yeah, just an absolute blast of a film. And I don't understand the low rating. Maybe it's just for people who don't love horror. This one is very gory. So if you're not cool with a lot of gore, don't watch this one. This one's not for you. And I followed that up with American Fiction. It's actually for Best Picture. Excellent film. Really, really, really excellent. Loved Jeffrey Wright in this. I loved Sterling K. Brown in this. John Ortiz, I had never seen him in anything, but he was a delight as well. Just an excellent film. Really, really topical to today's society, and really true. And unbelievably hilarious. Very, very good.
Oh, no, you're talking about American Fiction.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, though, dude. What a blast! What a film!
Bro, we need to talk about the Black Friday scene at the beginning. Holy shit.
Insane!
It's crazy.
I didn't know, like, what level of Eli... Because Eli Roth famously just makes insane... He makes gore-fest movies. So, how it started, I didn't know like what level it was gonna be, especially since this was more one of his more like critically acclaimed. Like,
Yeah, which is weird to say,
yeah,
but it's
uh,
true.
I think the first like you see like them all charge in, and then you see the guy get cut, and you're like, okay, yeah, Eli Roth, he's gonna show him
Yeah.
getting cut. But when Gina Gershon gets the part of her scalp roped
Oh
off,
my
I'm
god.
like, give it to me, Eli! Yes!
So good.
It's insane.
And it was so funny because you're like, it's so topical today. I was like, are you talking about the opening of Thanksgiving? Because like that's shit that used to happen. It doesn't happen anymore because like
Yeah.
Black Friday sales are like week long. But like, dude, he nailed the Black Friday craziness that used to happen in like the
Oh my gosh, dude.
mid 2000s and 2010s. Like,
And
it's so funny. And
I kept thinking who I knew who the killer was. So when it was revealed, well, it's like it's this person, and then you're like, I knew it, and then it's like, no, it's actually this person, and you're like, what? Yeah, absolute blast of a film. If you're a fan of overly gore, dude, the shot where the point of the boat comes through the back of the
Oh
truck,
my
and the
God.
two kids are staring at their grandpa who has been impaled. Oh, dude!
crazy.
Or when he spoilers ahead, when he cooks the lady alive and then cuts off a piece of
Oh
her
my
inner
God.
thigh, I was like gagging. I was like, dude, what a blast!
Yeah, that
What a
was awesome.
I was
I wanna watch it.
cackling.
They just put it on Netflix, so I want to watch it again. Have you seen The Blackening?
Yeah, dude, from last year,
Dude, that movie gives me the same vibes.
I loved that movie. I
there's a-
loved it.
I wish we got to talk about it. There's a joke in The Blackening that had me belly laughing where, they're all outing each other as, like, who's the most, like, Republican of all of them, and the one guy goes, I love Jimmy Fallon. Without the roots. And when he said that shit, dude, I was fucking dying. I love The Blackening. I love these dark, like, black comedies, super gory horror. Oh, they're just so fun. I want
Yeah.
more. We've
And
been getting
people
an
are like,
increase-
Trey, what's wrong with you cackling at a horror movie? Just watch it. It's
Yeah. Dude,
hilarious.
they're so funny. We've been getting an uptick in great horror comedies, and I want to see it keep coming. Like, they're just
Yeah. Even Talk to Me was really funny.
yeah, and dude, we can't forget The Pope's Exorcist. Holy shit. It's so
Dude, that where the demon's like, bow to me, and Russell Crowe goes, no. I'm just like, oh my gosh,
My
this
favorite-
is peak.
My favorite comedy line from that is when the demon's like, I'm your worst nightmare. And he goes, my worst nightmare is France winning the World Cup. And I was like, oh my god, bro, this is so peak.
And when he's like, when there's the super epic score playing, and he comes up riding the Vespa.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We need
dude.
to watch party it so we can talk about it, like, in depth.
It's, God, dude.
It's peak.
I
Give us
love that
more-
movie.
Give us more silly-ass horror movies.
Yes,
because
please.
They have been peak.
Yeah, that's like my comfort genre of movies, like
Yeah.
horror comedies. I just love them.
Yeah.
It's my
Shout
two
out-
favorite genres.
Shout out Tucker and Dale versus Evil, maybe. There's no way, bro.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say you don't like it, bro. You're gonna adore that movie.
Also, shout out Shaun of the Dead,
Peak.
the second best movie in the Cornetto trilogy.
W.
Yeah, you agree? Hot Fuzz, number
Hot
one.
Fuzz on top,
Dude,
bro.
Hot Fuzz is so peak. I mean,
okay.
both of those movies are an easy 5 stars. But Hot Fuzz, man, it's just so good.
I'm about to do a little lore drop on my
Yeah,
film
give it-
background.
Do it.
I always watched movies I wasn't allowed to see at my grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we watched The Sixth Sense. It was the first horror movie I ever saw. I was, like, fucking 9 years old. I was really young.
Yeah, I saw that.
And-
That was my first horror movie, too.
Yeah, and we watched The Hurt Locker, which, I mean, I was way too young to see that movie, but, and this stuff, but my grandma goes, I have a fun comedy to show you, and we watched Hot Fuzz together, and I was dying. I loved it. I was, like, 10 years old.
You're like, this shit is hilarious!
There's this one shot where the church tower chips and the point breaks off and it impales this one dude's head and his whole
Yes.
body. Like, it's crazy. I was like, dude, this is cinema. So yeah, Hot Fuzz,
Love the Cornetto trilogy.
yeah. Okay, my next movie is The Creator. Like I said yesterday in the Dune 2 review, Dune 2 has reignited my love for science fiction, and I have been itching to watch more. And my girlfriend was like, I don't really want to pay attention to movie because I wanted to watch Arrival. And she's like,
Hey,
I can't.
Evan is over here like, I need to watch Star
Dude,
Wars now.
I'm like, if I didn't have to watch these freaking Oscar movies, I'd be watching Dune 1 every single day.
I'd be watching cam versions of Dune 2.
Yeah.
I'd be okay
real,
with that.
Real. I see Dune 2 cam clips on TikTok, like edits of Paul, and I'm like, that's not
Like,
that bad. I can watch that.
the silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we watched The Creator. This is my second viewing of it.
Mm-hmm.
It did go down slightly. I had it at a 4-star before. I dropped it to a 3.5 just because I think it's a bit too long. Because it's like 2 hours 15 minutes. It's a bit too long.
Yeah.
Plot wise, this movie's fine. It's very generic. Like, there's nothing special here. And even though AI is such an interesting topic right now, and this movie could have had a lot of really interesting things to say about it, it doesn't. It really doesn't. There's nothing new here that we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's too bad because Gareth Edwards cooked the best Star Wars movie of all time, Rogue One. It's the best Star Wars movie. I don't want to hear it. It's peak.
It's not The Last Jedi.
And let's not.
Maybe I'll watch that today. Give it another 5-star peak.
Greg Fraser for cooking, continuing every movie he makes the best looking explosions I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
The Creator is stunning. And shout out to maybe one of the best needle drops ever of Everything in Its Right Place by Radiohead as they fly into this planet. Oh my god, it's so good. I adore that song and it fits this movie perfectly.
Yeah.
If you want a sci-fi movie that looks insane that you don't really have to pay attention to the story for, watch The Creator. It's on Disney Plus and it's a very easy watch.
Hulu if you live in America.
Right. Yeah, it's a super easy watch. It's a bit too long. Like John David Washington is fine in it. He's not as good as he is in Tenet, or Black Klansman.
Yeah.
It's fine, but visually it's insane. It's a marvel. It's peak. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Okay.
And my last two, Naiad, which Evan is in the middle of right now, so I will not say anything. It's excellent. Super inspiring story. Totally made me cry. Jodie Foster is just an absolute delight as she usually is. And Dune 2. The greatest science fiction movie ever made.
Yeah,
that's it for me.
I'm about a half hour into Naiad. I'm really enjoying it. I will be finishing it, and you can expect my thoughts tomorrow. Yeah. And my last two is one of them's Tokyo Story, so I won't touch on it. It's peak. The other one is The Corpse Bride. This was a first watch for me. I got this in the Real Talk raffle. Shout out to the raffle for continually giving me peak to watch. I have a backlog.
Just hope you don't get Ferdinand.
Dude, Ferdinand gave me multiple shark movies, and all of them have been absolutely awful. I've watched Megalodon, which I hated, with Michael Madsen.
He gave me that one too. It's terrible.
That movie sucks. And then I watched Shark Exorcist, which was so bad it was funny.
Yeah.
And then I watched Jurassic Shark, which is in contention for the worst movie I've ever seen. It was shit. It was so bad. But he's also recommended me The Eight Mountains, which is one of the best foreign films I've ever seen in my entire life. A Norwegian movie. Or no, it's not even Norwegian. He just gave it to me.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I got Corpse Bride. This was just a blast. Visually, it is so fun to watch. Every character just looks god tier. They're weird and creepy, and it's like playful how weird they are. The songs hit. It's so short. It's like an hour and 15 minutes long. Like it blazes past. It's just fun. Tim Burton cooked.
Yeah.
4 stars with a heart. Really, really enjoyed it. I could see it going up on a rewatch.
Yeah.
I was playing Final Fantasy while we watched it.
That's a W, dude.
It was just a good time. I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Evan, do you want to send us off?
Yeah, because I can tell you're playing Assassin's Creed, dude.
I'm not playing Assassin's Creed.
I can hear your controller, and I see
Shit.
you looking
No.
up at your wall.
I'm playing MLB The Show.
Okay.
I literally just turned
yeah.
it on like 2 minutes ago.
I'll send us off.
I don't play video games while we record. I want to make that clear. I literally just turned it on, and I'm pitching right now.
Yeah. This has been another episode.
I should have my
have
my TV right here, so you can't tell.
True.
But you can hear my controller.
I can hear. Well, I thought I could earlier. I can hear it a little bit. It's not bad.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, this has been another episode, and look forward to a Poor Things review from Trey tomorrow because we're gonna watch it later today. Yeah, tomorrow should be super fun. Oscar predictions. We still haven't seen the shorts. I might be able to get to them after work tomorrow. We'll see. I should be able to get to some of them.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try to get. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to. We might skip over a few categories. Yeah, because I did not plan this well.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the rest of Naiad tonight, and then hopefully I'm 100% watching American Fiction tomorrow morning. I might not get to Rustin, but I will watch it before the Oscars on Sunday. Yeah. So this week is super exciting. We've got lots of peak. We just reviewed 2 peak movies. We got fun tomorrow. Yep. Friday, we get to talk about the masterpiece of Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Certainly, we'll talk about comparisons to Dune and which are better. And Dunkirk,
but you can't even compare them.
No, you can't. Sorry. God.
God, Evan's dying.
I'm dying. And we're going to talk about a underrated Christopher Nolan film, Dunkirk. At least I will be talking about how it's underrated because it actually went up. I went from 5 stars on Christopher Nolan to 10.
W, dude.
I love Dunkirk, so look forward to that. Yeah, it's been another episode, and thank you for watching.
Vote for your next director down below.
Vote for the next director. If you don't want to see us talk, I'm going to glaze the master really hard.
Yeah.
So, Cash, if you're listening, don't vote for PTA because I know you don't like him. You're ill. Rate us 5 stars, subscribe, like, drop a comment. What is your favorite Coen Brothers movie? Tell us. Is The Big Lebowski your favorite, or do you like another one more, like me?
Like me.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
On The Average Film Enjoyer.
On The Average Film Enjoyer.